So I'll have a go at refurbishing this loom. It looks okay. What you're looking for is obviously repairs, but also the condition of the vinyl coating, and make sure it's still resilient, and it seems to be okay. We'll know better once we strip this sheath off. To do that though, first of all, what we've got to do is work out the positions of all the wires, right? And the easiest way to do that, I think, is one, initially photograph it, right, and then two, actually draw it out. Okay, so I'll do that next. That's the wiring diagram done, and I do it initially with the cables not cleaned, right? And the reason why I do that is because when you clean them, the things can start to fall apart, and obviously you're in a world of pain, and if you don't notice it, don't notice a wire pulling out. So what I'll do now is clean it, right, and then strip the sheathing off, and then double check the wire colours and the wire routings, and I'll do another diagram based on the wire routings. And I'll double check the colours I've written down here, because some of them it's very difficult to actually tell. But once you've stripped the sheathing off, you can see the colours much better then. Right, so that's it. Just washed off. It's a little bit of gunk, whatever. It's just to get the worst of the dust off. Don't be tempted to pull these boots off too early. I mean, that one's going to come off, isn't it? I think. If you're going to do this, you obviously thread them out one at a time. That's what I just did there. Yeah, what I would say as well is that if you're going to restore bikes, always do this. Okay, always strip your loom down and check it out, because you're going to save yourself a world of pain. You really are, because inside here, see, this has just been wrapped with tape. You see. So there could well be a repair or a modification in there to fit or to fix something, because whoever owned the bike before had a problem, and you're not going to find that out unless you start pulling it out, unless you take it apart. Okay, so always do this. Right, so I'm not going to take the end connectors off yet, because I want to strip. As I say, I want to strip the sheathing off and have a look and double check I've got the wire colours correct, now that I can see them a bit better. And as I say, check the wiring routing. When I've done that, I'll take these connectors off. It's really simple to do, and I'll show you that. But you basically just knock there's like a tab that kind of comes out, that locks it in. You just push the tab back in again and it'll just pull out really easy. These are looking quite yellow though. I like to try and use the old connectors if I can, but we're going to have to somehow get those better than that. And you've got to make sure they're not brittle neither. You don't want to go pushing them in and then they break off, or they even worse, break off in service. So yep, let's start stripping that sheathing off. Right, I'm just going to stop the camera because I want to take some more photographs and I've only got one camera. So this is good. You don't always get this, but if you start to strip it back and it's not there, then put them on. And what these are is that these are just keeping the shape of it, all the bifurcations and stuff like that. So that's right, that's great. The other thing as well is it had this on it, which is a piece of rubber, and I'm going to keep that on there because I suspect that's original and it's to protect it from chafing. In terms of repair, but I don't know what that is at the moment. I am going to have to take that off to have a look, see what they've done. Is that original? Because sometimes they want, see, they've got 2 into 1 there. Right, is it 2 into 1? Yeah, 2 into 1, so that's original, but pretty crappy, I'll be honest with you. So I may well redo that again. Let's have a look at it. By the way, this is original. I just wanted to see how they've done it. Oh, you haven't just... Oh, there you go. Yeah, so what they've done is they've twisted the wires over, blob of solder, and then just taped it up. Yeah, I think I'm going to live with that. What I'll do though is I'm not going to use vinyl tape. I'll instead use what's called self-amalgamating tape on it, which is a little bit more robust. And I'll do that for all these, okay, because there must be a few of these in this area. Now, as I say, you notice how they've twisted the wires as well. That's quite normal. Increases the radial stiffness of it, stops it flopping around, stops it. Do you got a basket? Something basket it's called, where it basically opens up like that, which obviously you don't want. In terms of if you do have to replace wires, make sure you fit it of the same gauge, same core thickness. The outside diameter, don't be too worried, but make sure it's got the same core thickness. The reason for that is that if you go too thick, then you're going to end up with increased radial stiffness, okay, and that can create stress, okay, in the wire, right, and lead to breakage. If you go too thin, what happens is you get too great a voltage drop, which on a 12-volt bike you should be okay, as long as you don't go crazy. On a 6-volt bike you're in a massive world of pain, and which is why on all the 6-volt bikes I build, because of powder coating and how efficacious powder coating is in creating insulation, I always run a new completely separate earth front to back. So it's not used in the frame as the earth, it's now used in this separate earth, which takes it directly to the battery. And that helps massively, yeah, it really does, yeah. So as I say, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through these, double check these colours. I can see what appeared, I couldn't quite see what colour that was, but now I can see it's clearly light green. And some of the other colours as well I couldn't quite see. So I'll do the runs. I'll double check the drawing, and then we'll start pulling these things off. So there's loads of different things you can use to pull the plugs out. To be honest with you, I always use this thing. Always frightens me when I can't find it, because I do use it a lot for this. I'm sure, absolutely sure, there's a proper tool. Don't know whether you can see that, but if you look into it, you'll see that the pin sits and there's a small hole gap above it, and it's into that gap that the tang has been fitted. So what we need to do is to push that tang down. Yeah, to use this one in the end. So I'll just keep trying it, it'll pop out. I don't know if you can see that, but that tang on this one are really small as there. So don't forget to lift these back up. They actually look quite good. So we'll go over there cleaning these up. But I'm going to strip the rest off, and then I'll restart the video once I've done all that. Set them all apart. We'll just carry on cleaning them. This is just a bit of degreaser. It's nothing special. I've got brake cleaner, it's called, which is a non-residue cleaner. It's a very similar product to something that used to be called electrical. Again, a non-residue cleaner. So if you've got electrical, I'd definitely be using that, but I've run out. So I just use the brake cleaner. Again, you're just looking to see if there's any hardening of the wire, any indication that there might be a holiday there, or a gap. If there is, you just need to change the wire. But give them a good, get them clean, if there's rust on. And what I do is when I reassemble it, I use a little bit of silicone grease. little bit of silicone grease just to add a bit of additional insulation protection. So this is self-amalgamating tape. Yeah, obviously self-amalgamate means it sticks to itself. So to fit this, there's a bugger to get the just give it a stretch just to get it warmed up. Now, you could just wrap again with vinyl tape the whole length, but I like to put shrink tube on sections and just do the joints with this. It just means that if you do need to do remedial repairs in the future, it just makes it a lot easier. And I think it looks a little bit neater. Maybe not agree with me, but I think it does. Just to help you thread it through the shrink tube. Sometimes it's easier if you just bind up some of the terminals just temporarily. We'll just do these. So we'll put a short section here, and then we'll just put a couple of sections there. Okay, so that's all the shrink tube on. So all we do now is shrink it, get them down there. So you're left with gaps like this, right? And what you can do is you can leave it, I'll be honest with you, and if you see some they are left. The other thing to do is to tape them up, and I'm actually going to tape them up. Okay, I won't do it now, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'll just, these ones, these connectors here, some of them, like that one, are not great. Yeah, not great at all. Not happy about them. The problem comes is that if they're that corroded, that the tang can actually break off as you're setting them, or when they're in service. So when you push the connector together, it actually pushes this one out because the tang isn't strong, no longer strong enough. So unfortunately, I haven't got any of these. So I've ordered some, but we can. These are the smaller ones. So I've already been through and just given them a lighter braid. They look okay. And then all we do is we get the connector. What's that? Is that the 9 one? 3, 6, 9. Let's get the 9 connector. get me drawing. And I always draw looking into it. Okay, it's up to you. And there's the top. So we go light green, which is there. Right. So first of all, obviously, what you got to do is pull the tangs back out. Right. So, my wife, when these, you can get these on the television. You can buy these on the television. My wife kept saying to me, "Do you want a pair of those? Do you want a pair of those?" And I said, "No, no." And she went ahead anyway and bought them. And oh my God, for somebody of my age, these are just absolutely essential. These are the ones with the little lights in them. Although I need to change the battery. But they're like magnifying glasses, and I'll be honest with you, I think honestly without these I probably would have had to stop, because my eyesight has got that poor that for close-up stuff I was really struggling, and I'm actually short-sighted, but I just have a little bit of a loss of clarity when it gets close, and what I was having to do is photograph. So anyway, so these things, God save, I say, a lifesaver, as you see. So that allows me to do this. Okay, so I'm gonna switch this off. So this one, light green. There we go. Just make sure we get it the right way around. And I don't know if you hear that, but it clicked in, and that's what you want to hear. Just give it a quick tug, make sure it has actually set. Orange. Blue. The colour coding, by the way, I don't know if you can see there. The colour coding is pretty much standard. U's blue, okay, and L's brown. And to be honest, on most of the bikes, the actual wiring does the same job. So typically, light blue is the neutral line. I don't know whether it is on this bike. You notice I'm not doing any of this with the wiring diagram, and that's, to be honest, that's deliberate, because sometimes the wiring diagram can lead you a little bit astray. So second groove starts off at light blue. But obviously you should always have a wiring diagram to, just in case you do go amiss. But I don't use it for this. I just do like for like, and you know where you are then. White. It's not hard, is it? It's quite therapeutic as well, to be honest. Right, so that's in. So you get the idea. I'm just going to do the rest. I don't think you need to see that. It's just more of the same. The only other thing I would point out, as I say, I am going to change these because I'm not too happy about those. And when I say that, I can tell you that you can get these connectors, you can get replacement connectors. There's a kit, and the connectors are in standard sizes. I think it's 2.3, 4.8, 6.2, and these are 6.2s. So the smaller ones, these ones here, are 2.3s. And these are kits you can buy, and they're really cheap, right? And if you have a problem with your connectors, if it's brittle and it starts to break, don't use it. Don't mess about with it. I'm borderline on this one, the free one, changing this, because I wasn't overly happy, but I probably won't now. But here's the kit, and that 9 connector There it is there. It's exactly the same. Right, you just have to change both sides, obviously. But it's, you know, you won't, you know, it's a really good, useful replacement. So, as I say, it's much better than trying to make do with something that's brittle. These ones are okay. As I say, I'm going to look at this free one again. But more look at it now that it's cleaned up. Actually looks pretty good. But you see, so that's it. Really, this is really easy to do. And it's so important as well for when you come to first start your bike after you restore, because if you've got a wiring fault, you know, somewhere in the middle of here, you're never going to find it, or you're going to really struggle to find it. So better off just ripping it out, taking it all apart, cleaning it up, put it back together. I do have, you can see that, big buckets of spare wire. Just pick, you know, get the wire as you need it. What you struggle to do though, but you can still get it, is the double coloured wires, the striped wires. You can still buy it. It can be quite expensive to buy, but sometimes it's a case of having to. What I do is if I have an old loom and if I buy new loom, I keep the old loom, just strip the wires off it. And somewhere there's a big bag of just, I think it might be in that bucket actually, of just random wires. And every now and again you just need to use them. So that's it, yeah, give it a go. Really easy, really important to do. That's it.